What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video. This video we're going to be talking about Josh Jacobs and Devante Adams, key pieces on our offense. How does their future stack up with the possibility of Derek Carr no longer being the quarterback for next year for the Raiders? Let's talk about it. Before I get started on that, anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So after the devastating and very disappointing loss from the Raiders on Christmas Eve against the Pittsburgh Steelers, our star running back, Josh Jacobs, clearly expressed his frustrations about the whole situation of the team to the media. Josh Jacobs, after the game, stated, "It's bullshit. The defense made their stops, but we have to help them out." And basically stated how it's an embarrassment, how he is fed up, especially considering that in the 4 years Jacobs has been with the Silver and Black, the results have not been there. And with Josh Jacobs' contract coming up at the end of the season, and with the Raiders in a state of uncertainty, especially at the quarterback position, considering that it looks like McDaniels and this franchise will move in a different direction away from Derek Carr. Now, with us moving on from Derek Carr, where does this leave Josh Jacobs and even a Devante Adams, who clearly has shown several different moments throughout this season of disappointment and even anger with this franchise? Do I think the exit of Derek Carr at quarterback, does that mean that we're going into full rebuild mode? Do I think our other stars on offense like Jacobs and Adams will demand a leave? Well, when it comes to Josh Jacobs, I think it really just comes down to whether or not McDaniels and this franchise are willing to invest financially in Josh Jacobs. Because even if Josh Jacobs is leaning towards the possibility of leaving the Raiders, I think the ultimate decision will actually come with this franchise if we are willing to open the checkbook and sign Jacobs. And if McDaniels really wants Jacobs to be a Raider next year, he can also resort to the last option, which would be to use the franchise tag on Josh Jacobs, and he will still be a Raider, even though they may make Josh Jacobs more frustrated by being signed to the franchise tag. As you know, the ultimate end goal with Josh Jacobs is that he wants a long-term deal to secure his future financially. And look, Josh McDaniels is not perfect. Although Josh McDaniels' play calling throughout the season has been inconsistent this year, look, at the end of the day, this has been Josh Jacobs' best overall year since he has entered the NFL. I feel like for the most part, really, Josh McDaniels has done a good job getting Josh Jacobs involved, and especially considering that Josh Jacobs has been an absolute crucial part of this offense. And ultimately, I think Josh Jacobs, he's a competitor and he loves the Silver and Black. He was born and raised in Oakland, California. He got the Raiders shield tatted on him. And ultimately, I think those comments just stem from a long, disappointing season that this season has been for these players. And I don't necessarily take those comments as Jacobs saying that he wants to leave the Raiders and join another team. I think the possibility of Josh Jacobs being a Raider next year is still very possible. It really more just depends on the Raiders more than Josh Jacobs. If they are willing to pay Josh Jacobs the money he demands, especially after coming off a career year. And also, Devante Adams. This is a guy who has been accustomed to playing with an elite level quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and he has been a playoff contender year in and year out with Green Bay. So you know this season, he's not used to this type of mediocre season. You know he is dissatisfied with the level of play of this team this year. So Derek Carr basically having one foot out the door. Do I think Devante Adams will demand a trade because of this? Look, ultimately, I think, in my opinion, I think the answer is no. I don't think Devante Adams came to the Raiders solely based on the fact that he is great friends with quarterback Derek Carr. I understand that was definitely a factor, a bonus. I don't think it was the ultimate reason for why he came. I think Devante Adams also understands that Carr, he hasn't played his best football this season. It definitely looks like there's been times throughout the season where he's been frustrated with Carr missing throws. And I think Devante also just understands the situation and the long history between Derek Carr and the Raiders. But the one thing I think that Devante Adams, he will not stand for and tolerate is for the Raiders to just go into a full rebuild mode. Adams has essentially, he's already, you can argue, wasted a year of his career with this mediocre 2022 season from the Raiders, despite him still being able to put up all pro numbers in this offense. But if the Raiders can bring in a veteran quarterback who is competent, and if the Raiders can continue to fill in some holes on the defensive side of the football, I think Adams will still want to be a Raiders. The Raiders essentially just need to show Devante Adams that they are not in a rebuild stage, and ultimately that the Raiders are committed to building a competitive football team Adams has also stated on multiple occasions that being closer to his family was one of the main priorities in joining the Raiders, and of course the lifestyle that Las Vegas, Nevada brings and the no state income tax that the state of Nevada provides doesn't hurt either. Now, who the Raiders bring in at the quarterback position, there's definitely a lot of different options they can look at via free agency, even the trade market. I will not be shocked if the Raiders start shopping around, maybe to see what potential quarterbacks are available via trade, and I definitely expect them to be scouting quarterbacks in this year's NFL draft. But there's no doubt that there will be a lot of important changes and moves from the Raiders in this offseason, and this offseason will really be crucial for the Raiders to build for the next season and for years to come. This offseason is really where they have to start building the pieces for next year. If not, they're going to be left behind. So at the end of the day, I still expect Josh Jacobs and Devante Adams to be back next year in the silver and black, despite the departure of Derek Carr. This offense still has a lot of firepower that we can build upon with a new quarterback in the near future. And I think it'll be the ultimate selling point that we pitch to veteran quarterbacks. Anybody that we're trying to bring into this offense, the amount of weapons we have will definitely be a very attractive proposal to any quarterback in this league. But those are my thoughts and opinions on our two main stars on offense. I expect them to be back next year, but we'll just have to see what happens in these next coming months. It'll be a busy offseason, that's for sure. But let me know in the comment section down below, Raider Nation. Are you guys confident that Josh Jacobs will be a Raider next year? And how do you think Devante Adams will fare with the departure of Derek Carr? Let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.